Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. I'm just coming to share these lovely little gift boxes. They've got 4 separate compartments and they roll up. Now I saw these visually on Pinterest. The earliest dated one I could find was by Flutterby Hyder, who is a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. But all of the ones that I saw, including Heidi's, had been made ages ago using the envelope punch board. So I set about making them without the envelope punch board. So this is the first one I made, bit trial and error. It looks a little bit wonky, and then I got better as I went on. So I'll show you how these are made. So what they are, they undo like so. You undo that and it all rolls out into 4 little separate boxes for you to put little sweet treats in. Okay, so the idea I had was that you could put, and this is what Heidi did with hers, I think, put Ferrero Rochers in there, or you've got your Raffaellos or whatever. You could put anything in there. It's a 1.5 by 1.5 inch little boxes. Okay, so they go like that and then they all roll up together and then it closes. Alright, so I'll show you how it's made. I've only got 2 of these left because I ate the others. So, so there's so I did it in green and I did it in red. We're going to make it in red today. So what you need to start off with is a piece of cardstock. And now you can get, if you cut it carefully, you can get 3 of these from 1 sheet of A4. And then you need to get your 4th one. So essentially you need 2 sheets of A4 to make one of these. So this needs to be 6.5 by 3.5. Alright, and then we're going to do some scoring. So, listen carefully because I don't always blog my measurements because I don't really like blogging. I'm a rubbish demonstrator. So, on the long side, we score, first of all, at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 3.5 inches, and 5. Simple. And turn it onto the short side, it doesn't matter which way around, and you want to score again at 1/2 inch and then 2 inches, and you want to do that 4 times. Okay, you want 4. Then you just want to cut. Now you can do this how you want. I've done it in what I call a no measure system. Because when you're sticking on little handmade boxes, they're not all exactly the same size. You've not folded and burnished them all exactly the same way, and so if you score perfectly for the little boxes, it doesn't always line up. So I have, from an A4, cut 2 pieces on the short side. So these are 8 1/4. Cut 2 of those at 1.5 inches. I'm going to join them at the bottom. At one far end, I've scored it at 3 inches, and that will be your top, and that is the only guideline I'm doing. Okay, the rest we're going to do by eye and pinch and score as we go per box so that it fits nicely. Alright, so there's no scoring for that. All you want to do is join that together. I'm going to use a little bit of score tape here. Don't worry if you can see the join, if it ends up on part of your box. We're going to wrap it with ribbon, and besides which, it's homemade. Doesn't matter, okay, if it's not 100%, because whoever gets it is going to be so impressed, it won't matter. So these would be great for little gifts. You could put string on them, hang them on the tree, give them to your neighbours, teacher gifts, Secret Santa, craft fairs, all sorts of ideas. Okay, so that's joined that together. So where I've scored here at 3 inches, I'm just going to use one of my, fold it over and burnish it, I'm going to use one of my decorative, which punch am I going to use? I'm going to use this one, excuse my arm. So I'm using this fancy tag punch here. I'm going to slide it in. Okay, and then we'll put this to one side for now. Get rid of all of that and move my scoreboard. So we're back to our little piece of cardstock here. So we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. Okay. golden burnish all of these. Nice and crisp so you get a nice shape so it holds nice when you put it together. Alright, so you've got that. Now this 1/2 inch strip at the top, okay, is going to be used to reinforce the lip of the box. Alright, so the centre parts are the box, and the bottom squares are going to be the bottom flaps that fold over. Alright, and then this little section here is going to join it all together. So we're going to get our scissors, and I've got the thin strip there to my left hand side, and we've got this little square here. We want to cut that away, so I'm cutting it by notching to that corner, and then on the opposite side notching there. So we're taking it away, okay. And then here where we've got this 1/2 inch piece, we don't need the bottom part of that, so I'm going in at an angle to the corner there to notch it, and then cut it all away in one piece. Okay, so you've got that so far. Okay, I'm sorry about the light, it's winter. I've got my normal room light on, I've got the big light on, we'll just have to manage. I don't have fancy studio lighting. Right, so then we're going to go to this thinner edge here now, and on every score line here what we're going to do is either side we're going to notch. So basically we're doing a little triangle across each of those score lines to take the score line away and notch at the same time. Okay, so we're going to do the same here. So we're going across and we're cutting away a little triangle either side of the score line, like so. Alright, and then you're doing essentially 2 jobs with 1 cut. Alright, and like so. Then we're going to turn it around, we're going to go to the bottom. Okay, and you will be able to see there are score lines all the way up to that score line there. So we're going to just cut straight, no notching, just straight up to release these tabs. Okay. And you do this on all 4 of them. Okay, so do that on all 4. So then these are your bottom flaps. Okay, so these are going to fold in, and that's going to fold in. You're going to put adhesive on the inside of those and on the outside of that one. So I'll show you, and we'll do this one together. So we put in adhesive on the inside of these small flaps. So then it's going to fold over, and it's going to reinforce that box just at the top. Okay, and then the side flap here, we're going to fold it over and we're going to put score tape on the outside of it, essentially. Okay, everything's rolling about today. And then I just go in with my bone folder, give it a little rub so that then it's easier when you want to peel it off. Okay, so let's remove all of the score tape. And you do this on all 4. I have pre-done my other 3 so that you don't have to watch me make all 4 of them, but I'm going to show you every single step on one box. You just replicate it by 4. As I say, you can put whatever little treats in you want. Right, so fold that over, give them a press with your bone folder to make sure it's stuck down. Oops, just had a bit of an avalanche on my desk then, never mind that. And then you fold that over, and it should literally just fold in half. And line up. Okay, give it a good press and re-score all of that, make it nice and crisp and flat. Okay, and then it'll pop up into a box, and you've got your little flaps here. Okay, now you can put score tape on each single one of those flaps if you like. I'm only going to do 2. In fact, I'm only going to do 1 just to be quick. So you just fold them all in. I think I need to have a tidy up on my shelves. Score tape on one of them. A rub. Remove the tape. Just need to trim that, but I can just see a bit of the score line on that. I'm just going to trim it a bit. There we go. Ooh! I knew that was going to happen. Avalanche! I've got my camera set up a little bit different, so it's a bit precarious, is this? Hold on, let me get it back to how it was. Let me see if I can get it back. I'll put that there. Stop that leg falling. We'll carry on, we're fine. Since I had to move my camera out of the window, I'm kind of balancing it on my shelf in front of me with all of my punches, and then it just kind of keeps sliding off my table. So we'll just have to manage for now until I come up with a different plan for to hold my camera. Right, so we've created 4 boxes now, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Super simple. And then, let me just move some stuff because everything's falling. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start and attach these to our strip. Okay, so I'm going to use glue. And what I'm going to do is, so you get your box like so, that's going to be the top. Okay, so line it up with the top and then just wrap that around and give it a pinch. And where you've pinched it, give it a score, give it a burnish. Alright, and then what you want to do is put glue on the bottom of that one. Alright, line it up, not dead on the score line but close, and this is why you want to use wet glue for this, because you'll want to have some wiggle room. Alright, I think that's right. No, that's not right. Have I done that right? I don't think I have. I can't remember. I can't remember. I think I've done it right. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. The camera falling off has distracted me now. Right, so then you get your next one. Okay, and what you want to do is place it with its side, where the opening is there, put it on its side next to the next one. Then lift the cardstock up and burnish it, okay, and burnish it there, okay, so that you've got a bit of a guide. So there's your hole, put it on the side next to the next one, lift your cardstock up and burnish it, alright, and then you can go and glue that on. And this is how I do it, because if you try and measure it precisely, it just doesn't always, it just doesn't sit nice, because it's impossible to allow for how you've burnished it, how you've layered it. It's just impossible to get it spot on. Alright, so that's why you use wet glue and you keep checking and adjusting. There we go, that's fine. Alright, next one. So we do the same, we put it on its side, okay, and then we lift that cardstock up and then we're going to glue it. I'm not editing my video, the show just carries on. Just carry on regardless. Right, so this one I've already put my paper on. So your paper's going to be 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. Now I stuck it on there like that, and then it occurred to me that depending on what paper you're using, it might be easier to put your paper on at the end so that you've got it all the right, facing the right way. Alright, so I'm putting, again, there's the hole, but I'm putting it on its side next to the next one, giving it a little bit of space. Lift that up, okay, and lift that over, and hopefully we're going to have enough. Hopefully I've done it right, otherwise I'll have to start again. All rolls up like so. I've had to move my camera again, so sorry if we're stopping and starting. I'm just going to readjust this top bit here because it's not quite lined up right. So I've cut that a little bit. Basically it could wrap round there, but it's not quite right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it off there. So you might want to adjust this bit at the end instead of doing it how I did it, because it's not quite worked for some reason. I think I measured it a bit wrong. Let me just I'll just redo it, it's fine. Okay. Redo that, that's it. So, then you've got this, and they all do roll up together. I'm going to need to try and nail my tripod onto my desk or something. It's fallen over twice. So it goes like so, and then what you're going to do is you're going to get some ribbon. Okay, this is not Stampin' Up! Ribbon because I only have red, and obviously red is not going to go very nice. Well, it's not going to go perfect with red. I don't have any green. So just use that. Like I say, you don't have to punch the hole. You can just wrap it around and then you can just tie it normally. You don't have to have that. Wrap this around. I'm feeling annoyed with myself because I've made it look a lot more complicated than it is. It's really, really very simple. I am sorry. That's what you get when you have a break from filming. I almost, I've lost my mojo, I think. But not to worry. Alright, then we're going to tie it in a bow. Okay. Tie it in a bow like so. Alright, and then you finish the bob off nicely with some scissors that aren't blunt. Let me try and find my fabric scissors. Here we go. There we go. Just trim that. And just trim that. Okay. Alright, so it's not going to go together absolutely perfect, but I've made it look a lot harder than it actually is. It does go together really, really nicely. There we go. So then you've got your 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch squares. Alright, and at this point you can then glue them on. So where's the rest of my squares? Here we are. I think I've got, there we go. You might just need to manipulate it a bit, but it does work. Okay. And then add your DSP on. Like a shoe. Okay. Like you say, add the DSP on last, and then you've not got it facing the wrong ways, I guess. So have it all facing the right way. There we go. It comes together in the end. Honestly, it really does. We just need to do a really tiny bit of stamping now. And this is the awesome bit of this, because where that might look a little bit skew with, once you've got your sentiment on there, as you can see from my samples, it makes it look perfect. Okay. So I've got a little bit of cardstock, I've got a block, try not to knock my camera. There we go, we'll have that one. It says thank you Snow Much, and that's from Snowflake Wishes. I'm going to use some real red cardstock. I think I'll just give up today. It's not cardstock, it's ink. Oh, forget it, do what you want. Just go and make something pretty. Ignore me, you don't even know what I'm on about. There we go. That's stamped much nicer now. Okay, amount of practice. Now I kept all of my Stampin' Up! Punches. If they retire them, it doesn't mean I get rid of them. They're never leaving me. I will keep these forever and ever and ever. Amen. So 1 1/2 for the white, and then I've used 1 3/4 on mirror board. Okay, this is out of my stash. You can use anything. Just makes it look a bit of sparkle. And then I've got red, and I've used 2 inches. Let's get to the end of this video before I need a vodka. Right, so what you can do is you can ink around the edges. So get a sponge. I use both Stampin' Up! Ones, and these are just baby sponges from the local from the nearest pound shop. It does more or less the same job. I will say the Stampin' Up ones last a bit longer because when you wash them they still look brilliant, whereas the cheap ones don't last as long, but it depends what budget you're on. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on there and set that on there. Very, very pretty. Some glue on that one. Put that on there. It is a lovely, lovely thing to make. I've made a bit of a mess of it today, and because I don't edit my videos, you get to see all the bloopers, but it does work. Just make sure you're not filming and your camera's not falling over, and you'll be fine. So then what you want to do is you just want to put glue on just one of the boxes, okay? So I'm putting glue on the bottom left box there. Alright, so you don't want to stick it on all of them because obviously it's going to unravel. So the bottom left one, like so, stick it on there, okay, and give it a press. And there you go, you're good to go. Alright, I'll just leave that to dry, or you could use dimensionals. So there you go, we've got them in red. I did do one in green, and this is what it's supposed to look like. So you're supposed to have the longer flap that folds over like so, and then it all rolls out. This one turned out absolutely perfect. It's just not gone right for me on camera today. And then it all folds in like so, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's a lovely, lovely little gift. Give it a try. Try not to have a disaster. Oh well, the show goes on. Who cares? It doesn't matter. There's no perfection in crafting. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye.